Hey Soul Tribe, it is Intuitive Energy Guide, Clairvoyant and Source Energy Channel. Kathy Weiss here. Welcome to today's bonus channeled message. It's all about the risk of rejection. I'm super stoked to dive into this topic with you today, and it's been a while since we've had a live bonus channeled message. So, I feel extra delighted and ready to dive in. Before I do, I just wanted to give you a heads up. The question is being asked of me a lot recently. What is a source energy channel? I totally hear you, and I am 100% going to address that, but not today. Know that I will really soon because there's other things that are being asked of us to discuss and get into today. And it's really interesting, this topic of rejection that we're going to dive into. And here's what I mean. So if you're new to me, periodically I channel messages and I write them down in my book. Here's my 2019 messages. This is book one. We're on book two. But what's interesting is that the message for today, I channeled it in early January. And so for me, when I'm channeling and then I write down like, oh, it's going to be delivered on this date. And this one said it's also going to be delivered via video. Cool. I put a reminder in my phone and I forget about it. So I didn't even know what the topic was going to be until that reminder popped up in my phone. And I looked at it and saw that it was a little bit about rejection. And here's why it's so fascinating, guys. The last several days, yeah, days, maybe not quite a week, I've really been ruminating on rejection in my own life. And I was like, oh my God, this number one is perfect for me, but I know it's going to also be really perfect and helpful for you guys as well. So here's the thing. Rejection, number one, can happen in all kinds of facets of our life, right? So keep that in mind. It can be romantic, career, maybe a promotion that you didn't get, or if you work for yourself, maybe you spent all this time and effort like creating an event or writing a book or something like that, and it fell flat and like nobody showed up or something like that. Rejection can also show up in like your friendships and just, it's like all over the place. And there is a saying that life's rejection is God's protection. And I'm 100% on board with that, that when we receive rejection, the universe really is protecting us. It's like the universe is saying, no, no, that's not the right way for you. You're not meant to be a professional violinist. So we're gonna have you fail at all your auditions, or you're not meant to be with that person. So that's not gonna happen for you. And it means that those things that you're experiencing rejection with, it means that they're not the best, most right, highest good things for your soul's growth. It doesn't mean they aren't super awesome, amazing, highest good things for other people, but they're not for you. And the challenge with rejection is how it can really pull up and out of us the feeling of I'm not good enough. Because in the moment of rejection, the new thing, the better thing, the thing that is more aligned for your highest good, for your best, most right self, it hasn't arrived yet. It hasn't manifested yet. And so in rejection, most of us are sitting with I'm not good enough. Now, here's the thing. I would never coach you out of not feeling those feelings, okay? Because we're human and we're supposed to experience a wide range of emotion. Rejection and that concept of I'm not good enough is part of what we experience. And the idea is like, let it flow. But what I don't want you to do is get stuck there. So I'm being guided to tell you a little bit of a story to personalize this, right? I never tell stories to make it the all about me show, guys. It's just that I have my own permission to share a story with you about something that happened with me. Throughout this year, my I'm not good enough story has come up a couple of times, and what was interesting is that it was all about the origin. So all of us have like a moment where we experienced rejection like in a way for the first time that every time we feel and experience rejection, it's sort of like that was the seed. And for me, that seed was seventh grade orchestra. When I played the violin, I was in the first. If you don't know a lot about orchestras, you can ask me later. But basically, violinists sit in two rows. The front row is called first chair, and the second row is called second chair. And in my young mind, the front row was the best role. Even though I was the last person sitting in the front row, I was like, I'm in the front row. I got challenged one day and I lost my spot in the front row and moved down to second chair. I was the first chair of second chair, right? That was the first person in that row. And so that was considered also a seat of honor. But in my mind, it was rejection. I wasn't good enough to be first chair. And so now, anytime I experience rejection, I immediately go back to being like that 12 or 13-year-old girl who wasn't good enough. So here's where I get a little teary eyed because it came up for me like about 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, when I experienced this new rejection, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I totally get it. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? That's not really the right thing for me. There's something better for me lining up. Um, but it was this. I applied to be in a very exclusive mastermind program. And if you don't know what a mastermind program, these are generally for entrepreneurs and businesses. They're small groups of people, and it's led by a very successful, very smart, very talented mentor and coach. And it's meant to really help you propel your business to the next level. And the one that I applied for is limited to only 10 people. Now, I got rejected pretty much immediately after I applied, and I knew why, and I was okay with it because the actual focus of this mastermind is in a different area than the work that I do. Is more meant for people who work in technology and web design and graphic design. And I was like, yeah, it's totally fine. And I knew that it wasn't the right fit for me. But during the next couple of weeks, while the mastermind and applications were being promoted and accepted, it kept like reminding me that I got rejected from it. And all of a sudden I was like, God, I am not good enough. As a matter of fact, nothing is working. It's like, it was interesting. Like I spiraled down from like, I'm not good enough to nothing's working for me, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I think it's so cool that today's channeled message is about the risk of rejection and how it was such perfect timing. And guys, like, why trust is so important, because back in January when I wrote this message for all of us, I had no idea that like literally this week is when I would be confronted with my own feelings of rejection and not good enough. Like my mind gets blown sometimes, guys. So what I want to do right now is read you the channeled message. So check it out. This is not the longest channeled message ever, but know that my eyes are going to be popping down to read that to you. And then I've got an oracle card that we're going to share to wrap it up. So here is what our guides want us all to know about rejection and living the best life for ourselves. It says, it takes courage to live a soul-centered life. It takes courage to trust the impulses, not knowing where they're leading. You risk rejection on all levels, from the subtle to the gross. We say unto you this, there is no other way. Let us guide you and lead you, and you shall not falter. Even at times when it appears nothing is working in your favor, you must remember this. Everything you experience is working for you, helping you arrive at the ultimate goal of this lifetime, the growth and expansion of your soul. Trust that the fullness of you is right. Live it fully and boldly, and your heart will soar. Your soul will shine brightly like a star in the night. Take the leap toward courage, and life will take 1,000,000 leaps towards you. I love that. We love you so much. We know you are doing this. We know you. Let me read that again, guys. It says, we love you so much. We know you are doing this. We forever support and guide you. Thank us. Be aware of us, and we shall never fail. Uprising in courage, this is yours to behold and enjoy. Go now in courage, and peace will flood your being. This message is complete. We love you. Amen. Guys, I don't know why. It's like this one is just killing me today with like how tender and loving it is, and that we do risk rejection when we follow those impulses. But those rejection moments are what lead us to the next right thing. And those rejection moments contribute to the growth and expansion of our soul. I think we can all look back and think of times when something didn't go in our favor, that ultimately, like the good stuff and the better version of us was right down the road. So, yeah, the risk of rejection, man. We got to do it. Right before I started the video, I was like, I'm going to pull a card just while I'm hanging out waiting. And this is the card that came up, Our Lady of the Inner Gate. And I was like, I don't really know much about this card. I don't see it very often. So I wanted to read in the guidebook what it says. Check this out. It says, there is a teaching that it is easier to be grateful during a feast than a famine. In similar ways, perhaps judging on appearances alone, it can be easier to feel the presence of the divine behind the happy events of our lives or strokes of luck and good fortune, rather than the challenges and loss. Yet the mother instructs us that she is just as much behind the challenges as she is behind the more obvious causes for celebration. And I just was like, oh, that's so perfect and such a good, loving reminder that rejection is really there for our benefit. And again, it's okay to feel like I'm super emotional for this whole video today, just talking about rejection. Like I can feel it, you guys can feel it. It's not saying don't feel that, but know that it really is serving our highest good in some way. And the only way to experience it is to take those risks. Fill out the application you know you're going to get rejected for. Try out for the play or put in for the job promotion or whatever. Create the event that nobody shows up for. Whatever it is, those things are beneficial. Hey Karen, yeah, I needed to hear all of it today. It's ridiculous how super weepy I am about it. So Our Lady of the Inner Gate, the card that we drew, comes with this message. We are being initiated into the power of our hearts. The heart creates powerful magnetic field that can be felt within us and around us. And as we grow spiritually, the electromagnetic field of the heart grows too. Amen. You guys hear me talk about your electromagnetic field all the time. Thank you, Danielle. I think you're awesome too, sister. So know that as you're growing into your wholeness through rejection, through those feelings of I'm not good enough, you're strengthening your heart. And when you strengthen your heart, you put out stronger vibrations of love and compassion and acceptance, not only of yourself, but of others. And that is how we heal the world. Boom! I feel like, could I just drop the mic on the stage with that one? So rejection, as rough and as painful as it is, strengthens you. And it's your continued commitment to live and survive that puts out those vibrations that heals the people around you, and then they heal the people around them. And this is how we make the world a better place. So I know it takes courage. And I know that there are times when it is like, oh, God, I so feel you, but know that it is all ultimately for our highest good. And if you're still really struggling and you just want someone you can talk to who's going to be non-judgmental and super supportive, hit me up. Let's have a session together because I feel you, I get you, I love you, and together we can rise you through it. This message is complete. Thanks for watching. Whether you watched live or later, I will be back on Monday for your weekly energy reading. And again, if you want to have a session with me, private message me or hop over to my website, kathy-weiss.com, and let's elevate your heart and your spiritual growth for the good of all beings. I love you guys. Have a great one. Namaste. Bye, everybody. Bye.